Hi guys, That Song Review Guy here, and today I'm going to be talking about the top 10 singles of the official UK singles charts as of the 18th of May 2015. Starting off at number 10 is Firestone by Kygo featuring Conrad Sewell. If there's one thing that the British charts have been renowned for over the last decade, it's being the platform for a multitude of Scandinavian disc jockeys to come out and make their names. Naturally, the vast majority of these DJs strike it big with at least one track before fading out into obscurity and never to be heard of again. And really, it's not like that this is a surprise. Most of these people are interchangeable with each other, and as soon as one comes along, they're replaced by another. And it's more than likely that the same is going to happen to this guy. DJ Kygo, real name That, is a Norwegian DJ who was teamed up with an unknown Australian singer named Conrad Sewell. Seems familiar, doesn't it? Both combining to create what is effectively a chilled out version of house music called Tropic House, a genre that's meant to evoke summer beach vibes according to Australian DJ and producer Thomas Jack. The name originally starting off as a joke, but eventually caught some traction. And as this is my first real exposure to this genre, it's certainly chilled and relaxing and doesn't feel the need to make the listener deaf after the very first listen, so props there. Related lyrics about him and his lover and how she's the yin to his yang is packed with the usual love song cliches. He's the flame, she's the fire, he's from X, she's from Y, he's the dark, looking for the lights, etc. I'm not exactly expecting great lyricism from this genre, and really, this isn't the genre that's going to provide that. It is what it is, pleasant, easy on the ears, and I don't mind it as much. At number 9 is All Cried Out by Blonde featuring Alex Newell. Sticking with the deep house music scene, we have Blonde, a UK-based duo from Bristol consisting of Jacob Madsen and Adam Englefield, who before this song already had a UK top 10 hit with I Loved You featuring vocalist Melissa Steele, a group that I honestly hadn't noticed because, well, it's house music. I'm stumped for a majority of the time to be able to tell one act from the other. This time they are accompanied by Alex Newell, who found fame on the US TV hit show Glee. This is enough to not only send shivers down my spine, but not even check out this song to begin with. However, it's still in the top 10 and I have no choice but to talk about it. The song is a little heavier in terms of its productions when compared to Firestone. Here the use of heavy piano chords slam all throughout the last 2/3 of the song, which opens up on a synthetic opening before the percussion-driven beat drowns out almost everything in the song. The vocals, much like the ones from Conrad Sewell, are alright. Here, Newell tells the story about how he's leaving his lover and that he doesn't want him back because of all the hurt that he's been put through. What exactly are the things that have happened to Newell in order for him to have no choice but to resort to these actions? I haven't got a clue. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Average music that really doesn't add anything of any value to the charts. Next, at number 8 is Hold My Hand by Jess Glynn. Easily one of the most successful of the female solo artists in the UK who have gained a lot of traction in the last year. Jess Glynn has definitely proved that she's not someone who's struck it lucky on someone else's track and is riding on their coattails as a result. If you don't remember, Jess Glynn was the guest vocalist on Rather Be by Clean Bandit, one of the biggest songs to come out of 2014 and one of my personal favourites of that year, which blasted her into the limelight. But an issue that I've had with her is that I'm not too sure whether the majority of her appeal comes from her as a lyricist or because of the genre of music that she's in. I don't doubt that she has ability. I love her voice, but could she deliver something that's lyrically compelling as well? It's one of those situations where you have to put aside for a moment that you like a certain artist and look at the song objectively. That was one of the reasons why I was a little harsh on Real Love, again teaming up with Clean Bandit on that one. And I know that this is dance music and the formula for this genre is pretty much the most basic formula that one could write for. But great dance music doesn't have to just rely on the music itself. It can have great lyrics to boot. Just look at La Rue as a great example. And here it does feel like the sound is what's holding this song up. I love the vocal arrangement on this song, especially Jess's cooing effect. The hook is infectious and very memorable, all the while not being overly basic. The horn section is nice in the bridge, and opening piano pieces start the song off wonderfully. But the instrumentation, much like Real Love, is the thing that does feel like the main attraction, and like Right Here, doesn't have a distinctive melody. I'm not saying that I don't like this song, which is about how Jess feels lonely in a crowded area, but the touch of her loved one makes her feel safe and secure. I like this sentiment, but what I'm looking for is expansion. to take this sentiment and grow it beyond its most basic principles. Give some history, some backstory, invite the listener to engage with the protagonist on this one. But like I said, it does what it says on the tin, and I certainly won't be changing the station when it comes on. At number 7 is Where Have You Been by Jack U featuring Justin Bieber. Yep, more EDM to talk about. It seemed like a good idea at the time until I realised that half of the top 10 is littered with EDM. This time it's the trap/EDM collaborative side project of Thomas Wesley Pence, aka Diplo, and Sonny John Moore, aka Skrillex, called Jack U. Here they present to us Where Have You Been, a song originally written by Justin Bieber, intended to be a piano ballad, but decided to give it to Diplo and Skrillex to produce. Probably realising that he's so irrelevant now that the only way for him to have a hit song is to give it to someone else and reap the rewards afterwards. So, what's the production like here? Well, anything that doesn't involve stuttering the vocal performance that feels like a woodpecker drilling into your brain, or accompanying the vocals with a sound effect straight from the devil's own mouth, for the most part, is okay. The solo parts after the chorus aren't too annoying, and for Diplo and Skrillex, that's an achievement unto itself. But to be honest, it's really hard to fuck up trap music, isn't it? The sound effects are passable, and overall, it's all nice and average. Bieber still remains sounding like a prepubescent all throughout, spouting off cliched love song lyrics that, as usual, are all unambiguous and unambitious. Here he goes off on how he was effectively the Lord and Saviour to some unidentifiable female love interest when she was at her lowest point, but now she seems to have disappeared off the face of the earth and is nowhere to be found. And this has left Biebs wondering where she's gone now that he's in his hour of need. And that's about it. Average sound, average lyrics, just average. Next, at number 6 is I Really Like You by Carly Rae Jepsen. Here's a little fact for you viewers. I was one of the very few people on this planet with a brain in my head who despised Call Me Maybe from the very first time I heard it, and I continue to hate it to this very day. It's another song that absolutely everyone I spoke to creamed their pants over, and anyone who said that it sucked was met with loathing glares. I hated the cutesy, childish, pandering nature of the song, and that's exactly the same formula used here with I Really Like You. Even the title should be a glowing red flag to anyone who sees it. You know, for all that I badger on about Taylor Swift's inability to write anything above the mentality of a 12-year-old, at least the last couple of songs have shown some sort of progression. Blank Space was tolerable, and I think that Style is probably the best song that she's ever released. But Carly Rae Jepsen, oh, she's a whole different kettle of fish altogether. Ask yourselves an honest question here, people. Do you not think that a woman of 29 years of age should be able to write something far more adult than this shit? I certainly do. I Really Like You is basically Call Me Maybe Part 2, only this time it's 100 times more insufferable and 1,000 times more abhorrent. The production is obnoxiously cluttered with no formula other than blaring in your eardrums to the point of making you deaf. The cutesy childish bullshit is ramped up to the max, and the lyrics are puke-inducing. From the looks of things, Carly is prepared to do some loving with some oh-so-incredible, unidentifiable dude who no doubt Carly is in with because of his charming personality, which is covered not once in the lyrics. In fact, we don't even know a single thing about this dude, much like Call Me Maybe. But at least with that song, Carly hinted at the fact that the guy wore ripped jeans. This person? Nothing. Unfortunately for Carly, nothing's going to be happening, since the only thing that does happen is that they watch TV together. Saucy. But apparently it's way too soon for them to be doing anything anyway, because she really likes him. Yes, 7 reallys in the chorus. Well, actually 14 if you double it. And asks her if he wants her because she wants him. So, you want him, but it's too soon. I guess you could say that's prompting the message of only do it when you're ready, but that's a stretch to pull that message out from something so vague. And then again, this is Carly Rae Jepsen, and from previous experience, I don't think she's capable of such a thing. Next, at number 5 is Lean On by Major Lazer and DJ Snake featuring Mew. Once again, another EDM track, this time courtesy of Major Lazer, the electronic music project created by American DJ and producer Diplo and English DJ and producer Switch. Now it's headed up by Diplo, only this time Switch has jumped off the ship and has been replaced by a load of unknown producers named Cheerleader, Woolsheep Fire and Bose Van de Beats. Yes, those are the stage names that they have chosen for themselves. All of them teaming up with DJ Snake, most famous for his baffling yet inescapable and weirdly enjoyable track Turn Down For What featuring Little John. Here, this mashup has created Lean On with guest vocalist, Danish singer-songwriter Mew. And what's the results? Well, how do I not sound like a broken record on this one? You see, this is the problem when you have so many electronic dance songs taking up the charts. Due to the lack of variety, how do you say something different about effectively the same genre? Much like Firestone, All Cried Out and Where Have You Been, nothing new can be had in here. Mew's vocals are passable, although I strongly maintain that everything on her latest album, No Mythologies to Follow, surpasses this track in spades. Pretty much like its predecessors, the lyrics are about the protagonist's affection for their significant other. The production here is, again, okay. Although it suffers from being the most annoying of the three tracks, the use of the screeching sound effect and the mechanical where is pointless and is just thrown in there to fill space. Thudding bass lines, finger snaps included with an assortment of other electronic sound effects, and there you have Lean On. At number 4 is the new entry from Galantis called Runaway, parenthesis, You and I. Oh god. More house music. Yes, this little gem from Galantis, a Swedish electronic music project headed up by Christian Karlsson and Linus Eklo. That's as much backstory as I got on them. The production is typical and themic progressive house music. The vocal performance is okay, and the lyrics are pretty much in line with every other house music track that I've covered on this list. Yeah. Moving on. At number 3 is See You Again by Wiz Khalifa featuring Charlie Puth, or Puth, however you pronounce it. What is undoubtedly the most successful track that Wiz Khalifa's ever released, reaching number 1 in 94 different countries. See You Again, featuring American singer-songwriter Charlie Puth, is used in the latest Fast and Furious movie as a tribute to the late Paul Walker, who died in a car crash in November 2013. This marks Khalifa's 3rd top 10 single in the UK and his first ever UK number 1 hit. See You Again, unlike the vast majority of Khalifa's discography, is a far more down-tempo track, led by a beautiful piano intro which sets the tone for the track perfectly before the drum machines enter, which here are not too obnoxious, and production-wise, they're executed really well. The whole theme ties in with the loss of a friend and the hope that one day the protagonist will meet their friend again. A heartfelt sentiment pulled from a personal loss that Puth experienced in his life, losing a friend in a car crash, and drew on that to create the hook for the song, which you can definitely hear the emotion delivered in his performance. And even Khalifa's lyrics share the same sentiment, and surprisingly, I found them to be very engaging for this song. For me, Khalifa paints the image of standing next to a friend's grave, lamenting on how this person's passing has caused him to realise not only the value of life, but his relationship with this person, to the point where Khalifa recognises the recently deceased as a family member. And even though he's filled with sorrow right now, he's secure in the mind that the two will meet again one day. Heart-wrenching and sentimental. This is probably Khalifa's best work to date and one of the early highlights of the year, and as embarrassing as it may be, caused me to feel quite choked up at the end as well. Yeah, easily one of the best songs of the year so far. At number 2, and the highest new entry this week, is Bills by Lunch Money Lewis. Son and grandson of Ian and Roger Lewis, both members of the reggae group Inner Circle, Gamal Lewis, aka Lunch Money Lewis, finds himself as the highest new entry on the charts at number 2. A reported 11,000 sales short of taking the top spot on this week's charts. This song has had some circulation for a while now in the UK, and I can't tell you how thrilled I am that this song has done so well already. Already a number 1 hit song in Australia and Scotland, it really pains me that Bills isn't higher in the charts. I honestly can't find fault with this song. The production is tight, the instrumentation is fun, lively, infectious, and a great alternative to hip-hop as well. Opening with a jaunty piano segment that carries on throughout the song, a trumpet section which adds more substance and enjoyment to the track, and the electronic percussion which does us the favour of not drowning out the instruments, nor drowns out the lyrics or the vocal performance. But it's Lunch Money Lewis himself that is the star of this song. His performance is not only lively but playful. His delivery matches the tone of the song terrifically, but above all else, the lyrics are fantastic. Portraying a down on his luck guy who faces the one thing in life that we all suffer from: bills. All the while having the pressure of having to maintain a family, as well as his woman threatening to leave him if he doesn't make a certain amount of money, leaves him with no choice but to work his arse off in order to make ends meet. Adding further enjoyment in the second verse, where he describes an atypical day where nothing is going right for him. Waking up only to bump his head and stub his toe, his car is out of petrol, having to walk all the way to the supermarket and line up in queue, praying that his card has enough money to make his purchases. Everything about this song doesn't feel synthetic or falsified. It's a genuinely enjoyable track that has added some well-needed fun and lightheartedness into what is, for the most part, a rather mediocre, recyclable top 10. Easily one of the standout songs of the year so far, and if this doesn't get to #1 soon, then the British consumers really need to be committed. And finally, the #1 song in the UK right now, Cheerleader by Omi, the Felix remix. So far this year, 2015 has been quite a solid year for #1 songs. And for me, this song is up there in my top 3 of favourite songs of the year so far. Jamaican reggae star Omi, real name Omar Samuel Paisley, has arrived from left field with a song that, honestly, I never saw going to #1. Not because it's a bad song, it's not by any stretch of the imagination, but just because of the style of the song. To put it bluntly, Cheerleader is a serenade to Omi's woman, and although he recognises that he is surrounded by other beautiful women on the daily and admits to being tempted by these females, he verbalises that he will remain loyal by his girl, how she's always there for him, and that he realises and appreciates how lucky he is to have her. Yeah, you could argue in terms of the description of said cheerleader that the lyrics are rather vague in describing her, but I don't think that detracts away from the appeal of the song. What brings the majority of this song's appeal is the instrumentation, remixed courtesy of the German DJ, Felix, infusing piano with bongos, a simple electronic beat and trumpet solos after the chorus. I don't feel that this cheapens the original cut actually. In fact, it only strengthens the original cut and is by far the best version of the many that are available out there to listen to. What I like about this song is that it's simple with very, very good lyrics. Many love songs have the tendency to have nothing memorable about the music or the lyrics, and often, more than not, the songs tend to sound formulaic and don't have any ambition to them. I'm not saying that Cheerleader is anything special or is on the plinth of the greatest love songs ever written. It's not, but because it is different in its sound and delivery, it stands out as being better than any of the other love songs in the charts at this moment in time. And there you have it, those are the top 10 songs of the UK so far. What do you think of the songs? Have you listened to them? What's your opinions? Do you agree with my views? Do you disagree with them? Regardless of your opinions, leave them in the comment section below. And until next time, I'm That Song Review Guy, and take care.